we don't do mining to make money, actually. Money is only a means to an end. And the end is to create wealth and share it equitably among all stakeholders for more social justice in the world.
Welcome to AfriCanada Stream, your portal to the heart of transformative Canada-Africa economics. Today, we invite you to step inside the dynamic world of Africa Accelerating 2023, a three-day program organized by the Canada-Africa Chamber of Business. This event brings together visionary business leaders and strategic thinkers in the field of energy, infrastructure, natural resources, financing, and education. Among our esteemed guests are Canada's Trade and Export Minister, the Deputy Prime Minister of the Democratic Republic of the Congo, and official business delegation hailing from Kenya and the DRC. Our journey starts with the event centered on the theme, Accelerating Canada-Africa Trade and Investment, People, Partnership, and Policies. My name is William Muyuku. And now,
it's an honor and a privilege for me to introduce to you Mr. Louis Watum, who is the president of the Chamber of Mines of the DRC.
Thank you, Ato, for the introduction. I think I should, next time when I come to Canada, pack a bit more good weather in my luggage. Yeah, I left a very good sunshine, and in here I'm under like 7 degrees this morning or something like that. It's cold for me, for an African. So, all right. Yeah. I'm Louis Watum. I come from a beautiful country. We produce good beer, good music in DRC. The girls are beautiful. Gentlemen are smart. We play good soccer as well, and we produce good copper and cobalt as well. So we work in DRC, and we also have fun. I'll take you through this presentation. I'm a bit old school, so I hope it's going to work. First of all, let me thank the organizers. You know, we travel to forums, to conferences like this. We come for 2-3 days. We enjoy being there, networking, etc. Sometimes we don't realize the time it takes to organize it. There's always an army of people who are working days, weeks, and months at times, sleepless nights, to pull all that together. To all of them, I say thank you very much for the hospitality. Thank you for all the hard work. It's always a pleasure to be around the network. It makes us forget about 21 hours flying from where we came from. I want to talk to you about the DRC mining industry first. There's always one term that comes in my mind when I think of our industry. It's resilience. Because there's lack of infrastructure, there's deficit of energy, there's lack of institutional capacity in the country, all the negatives. Yet we go from record to record. Production keeps increasing. Is there any Zambian in the room here? No? I keep telling my Zambian counterpart, Chamber of Mines, I say, we're beating you, man, as far as the producing copper goes. No, man, we're beating you, man. We're playing in the league of the 2 million tons, producing country per annum, so there's no competition. Eh? We're just nervous, and it's just what it is. So we expect a very strong production this year again in the DRC, particularly for copper. And obviously, we all hope that the election process in the DRC, which will happen in December this year, will run smoothly. We really want that. It has to run smoothly. The country cannot afford to have violence and disorder. So let's cross our fingers. The one thing also I always want to say when I talk about our industry is it's got a human face. It's not about capital and technology, about numbers. They are men and women, ordinary men and women, who are accomplishing extraordinary things. They're the ones beyond the magic numbers. we're parading around the world to say DRC is a big producers of copper and this and that. They're normal people. And I salute all of them. Please allow me to talk about Avano Mines for a little while. It's my house, it's my family. Doing great stuff in Africa. We're also Toronto listed, so we're also a Canadian company, as you can see. But with a strong Chinese shareholding as well. We can't blame China today. They're everywhere. They see the opportunity, they bring capital and technology. You can't blame them, can you? And we are a leading producer, developer, and explorer in Africa. We take projects from greenfield to developing them and to operating them. And we have 4 main projects now in Africa. The flagship is Kamoa-Kakula, which is the fastest growing mine in the world today, with the highest grade of copper in the world today. This mine alone, next year, in the 4th quarter, will be producing alone 650,000 tons of copper per annum. It's just incredible, and it keeps increasing. We also have in the DRC Kipushi. I'm a board chairman of Kipushi as well. This mine will go into production 3rd quarter next year as well. That's for zinc. We're producing is the highest zinc grade in the world. It's actually unbelievable, the DRC mineral endowment. If I take you 1,300 meters deep in that mine, you can touch sphalerite, pure sphalerite, almost 60% zinc grade, when you only need the 50% as a concentrate to sell. So it's as if you need to mine and dilute for you to sell it. Just incredible. In South Africa, we have Plat Reefs. We'll also go into production about the same period. This is it's a PGM, it's a nickel, it's a copper, so it's a polymetallic deposit in South Africa. And of course, we have a massive portfolio of exploration, which we call the Western Foreland. We keep exploring. We think we still have a number of mines in our pipelines, which are going to be pretty much needed, given the demand on critical minerals in the world. So as I said, the 4 mines, Kamoa-Kakula is in operation. Plat Reefs and Kipushi will go into production next year, 3rd quarter, and then, of course, exploration continues. You cannot talk about development, industrialization without talking about energy. We're investing enormously in dormant capacity of the parastatal SNEL in the DRC, poured close to $200 million to get around 250 megawatts of power, which we need for our operations. It's interesting, the DRC demographics. Very young population, 17 years old. That's the median age. So we have human capital to develop in DRC. Government is 20% shareholder in Kamoa. Yeah, that's about it. The one thing I always say to all the captains of the industry in the DRC, being the Chamber of Mines president, is we don't do mining to make money, actually. Money is only a means to an end. And the end is to create wealth and share it equitably among all stakeholders for more social justice in the world. This is why Kamoa alone contributes 4% in the GDP of the DRC. We have today close to 10,000 workers working there. And remember, in Africa, when you're employing a worker, it's not just a family like you've seen in Canada, dad, mom, mommy, and the 2 or 3 kids. No, it's extended families. It's the nephews and the nieces of the deceased brother and sister who passed away that you take under you. It's the grandparents who are still alive, and etc. So the multiplication factor can go as far as 20 to 25 people, depending on one person working. So it's got a huge impact in society when you're employing people in countries like us. But one thing also interesting about Kamoa-Kakula, it's a journey that took 26 years. I tell you, you got to have faith to build a mine like Kamoa-Kakula. For 23 years, living on borrowed money, just borrowed money, which got to just over $500 million. It was still borrowed money, 23 years before we got into production. It takes time, it takes resilience, it takes perseverance, but it takes a great team of geologists as well, those who know. I call them the children of God, because a mineral deposit in legal terms is an act of God, actually. So those who discover acts of God are children of God. And they are really needed in our industry. Remember, it is those who fund deposits today who tomorrow is going to build mines. So it's got to start with geology. Yeah, as I said, close to 12,000 jobs today, 250 megawatts we're developing in the DRC. There has been, it was last week, I believe, the opening of what we call the Kamoa Center of Excellence. It's a version of a school of mines that we're starting in the Kamoa to train the leaders of tomorrow to become real captains of the industry. That's a view of the Center of Excellence. With first-class education they'll be getting there. The first intake were 40 students. They just started now. President Felix gave us the honor to come to open it. That was last week. So great stuff is happening there. I will not feel good if I don't say a word about Kipushi. Kipushi, the picture you see there was last year in August. We were honored by the Prime Minister in the center of this picture, Mr. Sama Lukonde. He came to launch the construction works in Kipushi. Kipushi is a polymetallic mine with zinc, with germanium, silver, and copper. This mine, ladies and gentlemen, will turn a century old next year. It went bankrupt close to 30, 40 years ago because of poor management. It got flooded, completely flooded. Now you can imagine a 1,300 meter deep mine which is flooded. Where do you start when you buy it? You have to dewater it, right? And once you finish dewatering, what you find at the bottom there, you find rust and mud. You have to deal with that. It cost us a good $500 million to get there. And now we still have to inject another $350 million to get it back into production third quarter next year. So construction works are happening, and we'll have a great story to tell, as I said, third quarter next year, about producing zinc, about 500,000 tons of concentrate zinc per annum. I was saying it's also important to share the wealth. So one of the things we do is we develop local entrepreneurs. It's very important that when you create wealth, you share it equitably among all stakeholders, including local entrepreneurs. Some of them had very humble beginnings, and today they have turned over a couple of million USD, which is a good thing, because one thing I've learned, when you create a millionaire, he in turn creates a number of people who have around $100,000 or so turnover, and those ones also create others with 10,000, and that's how you create wealth. But it's not only entrepreneurs, it's also the small farmers. We took these ladies who had simple small farmers, gave them the basics of how to run a small business, gave them money, seed capital, and today they are building bricks and selling them to the mine, not only to the mine, but also to the surrounding areas. And they have a turnover of $300,000, which is a very good thing. They're employing people, they're paying the taxes. Same with another group of small farmers. We made them specialize in gardens, making nice gardens, profiling them nicely, and they have a turnover of $450,000 US. Others are in sewing clothes overall for works, but also for clients who are coming from outside as well, in the same logic. All these businesses are completely disconnected from the mine. They own the business, they're running the business, we're just a client. And you want to see them prosper and grow and create even more jobs. And of course, food security, same as well. We buy fish, eggs, bananas, veggies from these local communities, and they make good money out of it. You know, I was born in Kinshasa. I grew up there. When I was born, it was after the independence. I think Kinshasa had less than 2 million people at that time. Today, as I speak, Kinshasa has 16 million people. 16 million people. And when you get to 2030, probably you're going to reach over 22 million people. And it's all over the world. Why am I showing this? It's because as this explosive growth in urban areas, there's a huge demand for metals. You got to build roads, railways, buildings, homes, and all that comes with it. And copper is king, actually. Whether you're talking about wind turbines, you're talking about nuclear energy, you're talking about hydropower, you're talking about solar, anything you're talking about copper. Copper is needed. And the graph, I've been building mines for 35 years, and local communities today have become a lot more sophisticated than they were 30 years ago. They have legitimate demands. You got to talk to them in a way that you can create alliances and have the support for you to move ahead and get what you need. I mentioned early on that exploration is very important. Today in the world we have $13 billion budget for exploration around the world. Just over 2,000 companies spending it. And Africa, it's actually interesting to see Africa as a full continent. With the huge mineral endowment we have, we are attracting almost as much money as Canada, which stands as a country. So that tells you there's an imbalance. Africa needs to attract more exploration dollars, a lot more. Particularly countries like DRC, which has a mineral endowment second to none on this planet, is only attracting less than 3% of this money. That points out obviously to our own policies. Are we investor-friendly enough? Are we transparent enough? Are the incentives there to attract all these exploration dollars? These are discussions we need to have in depth with our political leaders and our decision makers. To the risk of sounding like a stuck record, I'll keep saying it. It's all started by exploration. You want to build a mine, you put exploration dollars on the ground so that you can discover deposit, and then you can develop them and build mines. Profitable mines can create wealth to be shared. And perhaps I'll leave you with these slides. I believe in this game, the tripartite between government, host countries, or government, and local communities, we don't only have rights in life, we also have obligations. And everyone must understand that very clearly. Investors need to bring capital and technology. They need to run the business in a way which is very transparent and honest. They need to respect the regulatory framework, comply with it. They need to transfer the skills and make sure that surrounding communities are better off. That's the obligations. But the government has obligations as well. Ensure peace and stability, not only from security point of view, but also from regulatory framework point of view, from the fiscal regime applying, They need to make the investor feel secure. They need to build infrastructure. They need to encourage investment. These are the obligations. And local communities have their role to play as well. They need to be positive about projects coming. They need to dialogue. They need to be transparent in the way they're spending the money coming to them and others. It's only when everyone understands its rights and obligations that we can have a real and meaningful discussion and debate and move the agenda of creating wealth and sharing it equitably among all stakeholders. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening to me. There's no question, it's very clear. So.
Thank you very much, Mr. Louis Watum.